how to build an amazing squid farm that produces 5,000 ink sacs an hour in Minecraft. Now these are the resources you will need for this farm. Now before we get started on this farm, there's a few things you will need to know for building this, and that is that one of the things you will need to build this is a resource pack that will allow you to see chunks pretty much like this. Now this farm is as good as it is because we have built it while using chunk borders. So I'll show you how to download this pack the second we begin the tutorial. Now also from most of my other squid farms, you can see that we build them very high up in the sky, but this one does not need to be built high up in the sky because according to the Minecraft wiki, squids can only spawn in open waters. So pretty much for ocean animals to spawn, they would need to have Y level 63 cleared of blocks, and there can't be any blocks there. But because of this platform at Y level 63, we are pretty much blocking any spawns underwater, and we are making sure that they can only spawn in this farm. So anyways, let's get into the tutorial. So anyways, to get into this farm, you will of course need to download the pack that we're going to be using to figure out where the different chunks are. So now I'm going to show you how to do that. So to do that, click the first link in the description, which will send you to a page that looks like this. And after you've arrived at this page, also quickly to say big shout out to Foxy No Tail, which is the guy who pretty much made this pack. So I'll leave a link to his channel and to this pack of course, but his channel will be right under this pack, so remember to click on the first link you see. And that will send you to a website that looks something along the lines of this, and you're gonna need to scroll down until you see download the latest version, which will be a zip file. So simply just click on that. So after you click on the download, it might send you to a page that looks like this. So then just click download on this big blue button again, and then it will start downloading as you see right here. Now from here you will have to head to your desktop, simply search up file and then open up this, and then you will have to go to your downloads folder, and right here you will see a zip file. Simply drag that out to your desktop, double click on it, and then you will see the maker's pack right here. You will simply need to move this out to your desktop. Now I already have this on my desktop, so I'm not going to need to do it, but you're pretty much just going to need to drag it out to your desktop, and after you've done that you will need to double click on the Minecraft icon, as in the pack icon. And then after you've done that, after you open Minecraft again, you will most likely get a notification saying import started, and then after a while it will disappear and say import success. So after you've done that, you will need to click on settings, simply scroll down until you see global resource packs, then click on my packs right here, and then right here you will have a pack called Maker's Pack by Foxy No Tail. You know, press on it once, then press activate. If you then go into my packs, you will see that it is right here. So then you can simply head back out of this menu, press play, and then log back into the world that you're going to be building this farm in. Okay, so after you load back into the world, we can finally actually begin building this farm. Now to do that, you're gonna need to get yourself out into the ocean, because this farm will be the best if you build it out in the ocean. So anyways, after you've done that, you will need to place yourself out a minimum of 1 block in the middle of where you pretty much want to have the farm, which I have right here. So then after you've done that, you're gonna need to grab yourself an armor stand, place out the armor stand, and this is how we're gonna figure out what the chunks are. Then you're gonna need to equip it with a banner. This can be any kind of banner, and then you will have to post the armor stand to get up the chunks. So to post an armor stand, you pretty much have to shift or pretty much crouch, and then press right click on your mouse or whatever you're using, and then this will pop up. Do it once more, and here you will pretty much have where one chunk in Minecraft is. So pretty much what you're gonna need to do now is cover in this whole chunk with pretty much dirt or any kind of block, and this will be at the bottom layer of the water, or pretty much at the top layer of the water, I guess I should say instead. So remember to place dirt correctly, or the grass, whatever block you're using, can even be stone, whatever. This needs to be placed pretty much at the same level as top water block, which will be Y level 63. Okay, so now I am almost done, and boom, now I'm done covering in one chunk. Now as you might have seen in the beginning, the farm will be a bit bigger than one chunk, and that's because it's a 3x3 chunk farm. So what you're going to need to do now is cover in another chunk going in each direction out from this middle grass block. But then if you post it a third time, as you see, we have gotten a 3x3 chunk area. So this is pretty much 9 chunks in total, which is what you will need to cover in. So what you can pretty much do now is just build dirt out until you get to the end of where this chunk line is like this, and then just continue this and fill in all of the chunks we have right here, or pretty much the top layer of water inside all these chunks. And yeah, okay, so as you now see, I've covered in pretty much all these chunks, or the top layer of water, with dirt, as you can see right here. So after you've done that, you can pretty much head back into the middle right here, and then just destroy the armor stand. And now we should have a 3x3 chunk dirt platform, or grass, or whatever block you used. Okay, so what we're going to need to do now is start on the collecting system, and pretty much how we will be collecting the ink. Now we're going to be building the farm right on top of this dirt area. So what you're going to need to do now is find yourself one side where you want the collecting system to be. That can be any side, really doesn't matter. But then you will have to find somewhat the middle point of where we have this whole platform. You can also be just a little, you can also just guess a little bit, it doesn't matter too much. However, if you want it symmetrically, you should obviously, you know, double check, but yeah. Okay, so after you find the middle point, you will pretty much need to expand that by 2 blocks going out towards the water, pretty much like this. And then then you will have to place yourself out a double chest right here. Then after you've done that, you will need to place 2 hoppers going into the double chest, then place 2 more, and then pretty much on the front side of these hoppers, you will need to run a long line of hoppers going into those hoppers. So pretty much like this until you get to the complete end of the farm, and then after you reach the end right here, you will need to run another line of hoppers that will be going into those hoppers. Pretty much just like this, fairly simple. Then you will obviously have to do the same on the other side. Okay, so after you've placed out the hoppers, we're now gonna need to build another platform or pretty much another layer of blocks right above the dirt we have right here, because we're obviously gonna need to have railings running on top of these hoppers all the way into the back. Now this platform can be used or built using any blocks, so I'm gonna build this using smooth stone simply because I like the look of that block, but you can build this out of any blocks, it really doesn't matter. So anyways, then just do that, and yeah. Okay, so after you've built this platform, we're now gonna need to get started on the railing system. So to do that, you're gonna need to head to the opposite side of the farm, or pretty much the opposite side of where we have the collecting system, and by that I mean the hoppers and that, which is this side. Then you're gonna need to find yourself one corner. I'm gonna start over here because why not? So you're then gonna need to place yourself out one railing in the back of the farm, or the corner pretty much, and then you're gonna need to expand this by 3 more railings. 1, 2, 3. Then you will have to place yourself out a powered rail, then place yourself out 6 normal rails. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then place yourself out a powered rail, then 8 normal rails. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 1 powered rail, then 6 normal ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1 powered rail, and then 8 normal ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 1 powered rail, and then 6 normal rails. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1 powered rail right here. And then pretty much just 4 rails right here. Then pretty much from this last rail right here, we're gonna need to place 3 more rails going towards the middle of pretty much where the chest is. So 1, 2, 3, but not of course all the way to the chest, but just 3 railings right here. And then we're pretty much gonna need to copy what we have right here with the railings, but going backwards. So you're gonna need to place 3 more normal railings right here, and then when you reach the same place where you have the powered rail, place yourself out the powered rail, then simply run normal rails, powered rails, until you see a rail on the other side, powered rail, then place that. Just continue this until you get to the other side, pretty much just like this. And then when you get to the other side, you will need to run this in towards the middle, and then pretty much continue this going backwards, or pretty much again towards where we have the hoppers, if that makes sense. And obviously place rails when there is rails next to each other, and then powered rails when you reach a powered rail like this. Then you're gonna need to continue this back like this. This might be a bit confusing, but I'm going to show you an overview when we get back to the back. So let's just continue like this, powered rail right here, and then when you get to the back right here, this will link up like this. So what you should have right here is pretty much something that looks like this. So now we're pretty much going to need to copy this until we get to the other side. So pretty much just continue this. So before we do that, we're obviously going to need to power the powered rails. So to do that, we're going to head under here, then destroy one of the top dirt blocks, place yourself out the lever because those can be placed underwater, flick it on, then do the same with 4 levers in a row like this. But then anyways, just do this with all of the other powered rails too, like this. Boom. Then head over here. Okay, so now I have reached the end and all the powered rails are turned on. And then what I'm going to do now is pretty much continue this railing system all the way until we get to the other side. So what you're going to need to do now is pretty much copy what we built right here and then just paste it until you get, well, to the other side. So anyways, then do that, and yeah. Oh, but also before we continue, you're also going to need to place a block under where we have all the levers, simply to, block off the squid spawn point or any spawn points that could be under the farm in those areas.
A few moments later.
Okay, so as you see, I have completely finished all the railings. Everything is exactly like it should be, I believe. So then after you've done this, you can pretty much head back down there and then place yourself out one minecart on top of each of these railings. Now, not on all of them. This is, important to memorize so they don't stop and crash into each other. But place one on pretty much every 4th railing. So we have one right here. You can push it to start. Then head over right here to the second kind of layer of railings or whatever, then do the same right here. This is another layer of railings. Now I hope you understand what I mean, but pretty much every time we have one of these squares right here, it should pretty much have one railing on it. One hopper minecart on it, pretty much like this. So yeah, now we have a bunch of minecarts going back and forth that will be collecting all the squid that will be dying, and it will obviously pick up all the ink and then send it into the chest. So anyways, the next step will now be to make obviously how the squids will die, which will be using magma blocks. So to do that, you will pretty much need to place a magma block on top of one of the railings and then expand this to cover the tall railing. Now this might take some time to place out, but this is definitely going to be worth it. So anyways, then just place yourself out a bunch of magma cubes, or magma blocks I mean, on top of all the railings, and yeah. Okay, so as you see, I have just about finished my magma block platform. So now we're pretty much done with how they're going to be killed, but now we're obviously going to need to place in the water and the blocks around that will be covering the farm. So to do that, you will need to head into one of the corners, place a temporary block right there, then place a block going out from the temporary block, and then pretty much destroy the temporary block. Then you will have to build a 1 block high wall going all around the outer part of the magma blocks we have right there, pretty much like how I am doing. So then just do that, and yeah. Okay, so after you've done this, what you will have to do now is get yourself an infinity water source, which I would recommend you do because this is going to require quite a bit of water. And to make an infinity water source, you can simply make yourself a 2x2 room, or it's 1 block high like this. Place yourself 1 water source in the corner, and now we have an infinity water source. But since I'm in creative, I'm obviously not going to need this, but I would recommend that you build one of these because this is going to require quite a bit of water. So now what you're going to need to do is fill in this with water, but we're going to use a very simple trick to fill this in quite quickly and easily, because obviously placing in an individual water source on top of all this would be very annoying and take way too long. So what we're going to do instead is choose one corner of the farm, or one wall of the farm, which is right here, and then you're pretty much going to need to place a water source on top of all of the corner blocks right here. So just bear with me in a second, do like how I am saying. So pretty much just do this, and then when you get to the other side, rotate 90 degrees, and then pretty much just do the same going this way. This is a trick that will help you fill up this very easily, or very quicker I guess. So then just run water until you get to the other end of the farm, fly up, and now the water will automatically go until the end. And as you see, some squids are already spawning, which is pretty nice. Another family. So while you're building this, you will already be getting a bunch of squid ink, which is obviously pretty nice. So now the water will fill up automatically. So what we're going to do now is expand this wall by 1 more block going upwards, pretty much like this. And then after we expand this wall one more higher, we're pretty much just going to do the same thing we did with the water. So expand it 1 more up, and as you see, a bunch of inks are spawning, or squids I mean, which is of course pretty nice. But then you're going to need to choose 1 corner of the farm on 1 wall of the farm, and then pretty much just fill in that wall with water sources like how I am doing. Then when you reach the end, turn or rotate yourself 90 degrees, or to the left or right, whatever, and then simply fill in this wall again with water. Then when you get to the other side, which should be in a couple blocks, so boom, the water will automatically fill in when you get to the other side. As you see, if we wait a minute, the water is filling up, and you clearly see that this works. So after the water is filled up, or pretty much gone to the other side, you will need to expand this wall 1 last block going upwards. So then do that. Okay, so after you've expanded the wall going 1 more upwards, you might have guessed it, but you will of course need to fill in or do the water trick once more. And as you see, we already have a bunch of squid spawning, which just proves that this farm is already working. So if we then head to the chest, we're not done yet, but if we quickly head into the chest, we will see that we already have quite a bit of ink right here. Yeah, we already have a little over stack of ink while I was just building this in creative, which obviously didn't take that long. Now also to quickly say, I've not included the resources this is going to take in the intro, but what I would recommend you do is also place some slabs on top of this wall right here, that's going all around the farm, or leaves, or simply light it up using torches. Now this is simply to prevent mobs from spawning on top of this wall while you're standing AFK in this farm, which of course won't matter too much, but of course if too many spawns, they might end up blocking off a little bit of the, you know, mob caps or the amount of mobs that can spawn, which obviously might affect the farm a little bit. However, this is of course not necessary, but I like to do it simply because why not? Now after we have done this, we will be standing AFK pretty much about 25 blocks above the farm in this area right here, about in the middle. I'll show you how to build AFK room in a minute, but we still have one more thing to do, and that is that we will of course be turning the simulation chunk distance down to 4 to make this farm as best as possible, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. But if we turn it down to 4, squid and along with some other ocean mobs like fish and that and drowns might be able to spawn in the general vicinity of the outside of the farm, because how animals kind of spawn, or mobs or entities spawn, is kind of in a circle around you. So mobs will usually be able to spawn pretty much in a few extra blocks outside of what we've built so far. So what we're gonna do now is head down to the bottom right here, and then we're pretty much gonna build 10 dirt blocks or grass blocks or whatever blocks you want going out from the block that's under the hopper. So pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The same on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you're obviously gonna need to do this in all of the corners of the farm, 9, 10. And then after you've of course done this with all of the corners, you will simply need to just fill in those blocks. So simply link them up like this, fill in the middle area we have right here, obviously link up the corners with the other corners, pretty much like this, or almost at the end, so pretty much like this, and then obviously fill in the area right here with dirt or any kind of block you want. So then just do that, and yeah. Okay, so now I have finally finished the platform we have outside of dirt, and now the dirt work is finally done, which is of course pretty nice, I must assume. So now we really just have two more steps, one being making the AFK tower, and the second one being obviously changing the sim distance to the world, which I'll show you in a minute. So anyways, to build the AFK tower, you will pretty much need to head to the top wall we have right here. So if you have placed a slab or something on top right here, simply destroy it, and this will pretty much be right above where we have the chest. From this block you will need to build 25 blocks up, so pretty much 25 blocks up from above the water we have inside the farm. So that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and of course you can build some ladders on top of these if you want to be able to get up without using an elytra. Now pretty much from this top block right here you will need to build 25 glass blocks going out, and it's very important that these blocks are glass blocks. So anyways, then do that. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25. So this is pretty much a block they will be using while standing AFK in this farm. So yeah, now the farm is pretty much done, and as you see, even while I'm standing up here with, I believe, Sim 6, this farm is already pretty good, but we're going to turn it down to Sim 4 simply to make this a bit better. So to do that, you're going to need to save and quit out of the world. Then you will have to press on the little icon we have right here, right next to the world, and then you will pretty much have to scroll it down under, of course, the game, and then you will have to scroll down until you see simulation distance. Now mine is already on 4 chunks, but there's a good chance yours was on, for example, 6 chunks, maybe 8, maybe 10, depending on what you have it on. But if it is on 6 or whatever you have it on, simply just turn it down to 4 to make this farm better. So yeah, that is pretty much the farm, and if I head back down, here is this side where we collect the items Ps4. This is pretty much the amount of ink you will collect about every 10 minutes. From my testing, I believe you will be able to collect anywhere between 750 and about 850 ink every 10 minutes, and when I stood AFK for about an hour doing a couple different tests along with a guy who came up with this design, again shout out to him, this farm gave me anywhere between 4,000 and 5,500 ink every hour, which of course is pretty damn nice. Now again, a quick shout out to the guy who came up with this design, who joined my Discord and showed it to me. So if you want to thank him, you can join my Discord down below and obviously thank him there, or you can check out his channel. Shout out to you, man. I really appreciate you for both watching my videos, but also for, you know, making this farm and actually showing it to me, and yeah, I truly appreciate it, so big shout out to him. But anyways, that was it for this one, so thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about how this works or anything like that, feel free to comment them down below and I'll answer you as fast as I can. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.